All right, welcome to DeanBodi Show. DeanBodi Show. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Start of another week. Happy Monday. Man, we're doing it, man. Oh, yeah. Let's make it positive. Let's keep things rolling. DeanBodi Show. And who's the good girl? Everybody join in. Good girl, Bodie. Good girl, Bodie. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com. 800-878-9698. Bodie Hotline, Fun Line. Call the Bodie line. She's waiting for you to say something nice to Bodie line. It's the fun line. It's the happy line. Hey, sing your little zippity-doo-dah. Do your little sing-along in your own special voice. We'll sing it with you. Bodie, myself, and you will do what do you call it? Like not quite a quartet. It's more than a duet. It's kind of like a triplet, and we'll blend the voices together and make it one. Oh, yeah. Say your first name, where you're from. Hey, who is it? Oh, it's Billy from Arizona. Wow, who's calling now? Lisa from Kentucky. Oh, look who it is. It's what do you call? His name is Padre. He's calling all the way from Chile. Wow. We got the links on there, DeanBodi.com. One will get you over to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the platforms. The social link will get you on there, blast you right like a rocket ship, like one of Elon Musk's rocket ship, right over to the YouTube channel. It's DeanBodi space show, YouTube channel. All right. Listen, digest it. You got the videos on there. We're getting close to 200. We got the audio podcast. It's about 10 behind because we started the videos first, keeping it real, keeping the numbers real. We're getting close to a couple more achievement awards from my beautiful hosting site, Buzzsprout. Great job, Buzzsprout. It's been a great relationship, and I hope it's going to be a long-lasting relationship all the way into the future as DeanBodi grows. All right. I'm thinking Dean Boatsters. We talked about this last time for some stuff on some merch. Roadster, Boatster. It's got movement. It's got power. It's got, you know what I'm saying, man. It's got horsepower, baby. Boatsters. Dean Boatsters. We need to find the right artist. Do a nice little cool design. I don't know. Bodie's silhouette's got to be in there with that energy on the Boatster. Dean, we're right there with the Bodie. We went on a cool walk this morning. Man, this is the weather not perfect out there today in the 50s. Bodie did some laps. You ever have that old kind of like back in the day, you had this kind of, I don't know, it was like an airplane kind of thing, and it was attached to a string, and you could kind of stand in a circle and it would just fly around in a big circle, something like that, if my memory serves me correctly. That's how Bodie is sometimes on the leash. We just let her go, let that thing cascade out, whatever you want to call it, telescope out, and she just flies around in a big circle, gets some things off of her, get some energy out of her, let her shake it out a little bit, do some laps, then she'll chill out. And then she likes to watch the cars drive by, and the people do whatever, and the construction guys doing their thing. Let me tell you, when you build something and then you end up having a plumbing problem, holy moly, do you have to dig things up and destroy the entire 7-block area. When are we going to get the plumbing thing figured out where you don't have to destroy the whole thing and make such a mess? I get it. The plumbing's underground, so just like the Bat Cave, build like a really cool underground trap door so you can just hit a button, it opens up the floor, however big you need it, and you can go in and fix it and close it back up with, who knows, artificial turf, you'll never know, and you don't have to keep digging and get all of this whole thing and make such a mess. Anyway, wow, we're doing some things over here, man. We started the day with, we're doing our ketone thing. We're doing our keto diet. We're handling our gout. We're watching our adrenal gland insufficiency. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going through some health issues I've had for the last few months and trying to rebuild my body. So, like you, oh, look who just showed up, Mr. and Mrs. Perfect, who never has a problem. Oh, really? Well, listen, when I was like, I don't know, in my 20s and 30s, what I did to my body, I pretty much got away with everything. I didn't always have the gout, didn't have it 20s and 30s, wasn't until after I was into my 40s before my kidneys said, well, I can't quite dump out the uric acid as well as I used to, so welcome to gout. Oh yeah! And as you get older, there's more challenges with that. So the doctors out there that think that they're smarty pantses and they've been in practice a long time, and they think because they know keto now that everything is rubbish and all this stuff, and the purines don't cause this, and the high purine foods have nothing to do with it because your body makes purines anyway. If that was the case, people that are eating a bunch of purines, the carnivore diet and all that stuff, how come they don't have gout? Why? Because their kidneys are just functioning better with dumping. That's the reason. They don't have the propensity, or maybe there is a genetic factor in there. Not saying that you can't turn it around and reverse it, but somebody might have the challenges. Or somebody who's been on maybe medications too long and put a lot of stress on their kidneys, and it's not quite functioning as well as it used to, because when your kidneys have to filter out the synthetic drugs over the years, they break down. That's why kidney failure is number one in the country, because of all the meds people are on. Keto is not cookie cutter. This is not a one size fits all. So, is it possible that it's going to be a healthier way? I like the comments, too, from the smarty pants doctors. I think they know everything, and all of a sudden they were in practice all these years as prescriptionists, and they all of a sudden, now they want to turn holistic, and they know everything all of a sudden, and everything's rubbish now, and all that, because the body makes pretty much everything under the sun, because it's a chemistry lab. It's not a bank account where it's calories in, calories out, deposits and withdrawals. It's a chemistry lab. Yes, the calories maybe are important, but hormones are more important. Body chemistry is a lot more complicated than that. So that being said, I'm Dr. Dean, where I used to be in a formal life. I was chiropractor and practicing. So we kind of have the holistic mindset right from the get-go. Not kind of, we do. And it'd be interesting if we kind of learn the prescription thing towards the end, and we had the majority of the nutrition as we do, but we still know how to do the other for crisis care. Might have been an interesting mindset rather than the reversal. And, what comes around with the MD is you have a little more clout. You obviously have more respect. Number one, you just do, and being a chiropractor has been a real challenging thing. And what are you going to do? It's a lot more challenging because we don't have the MD. But what you know, as I know what I know, having that holistic mindset and that philosophy has been way more valuable as opposed to the other. Hands down and bravo to the medical profession and that emergency care and that crisis care, because we have the best in the country. Without that, most of us would not be walking around the planet. Let's be honest. But once you're out of the crisis care, now let's learn that holistic method so we can turn things around. How cool is that? So, all right. Anyway, that being said, we got a little wintry looking going on here. And I wanted to say, look, it's not cookie cutter. And because I'm saying all this right now, I'm jumping into the arena because I, in my own personal, not only personal rehab story right now, but crisis care intervention story, so we can see if we can come out the other side. I'm not just going by what Millie, Bobby, Susie, and Jimmy are talking about. Let me say it again, I'm going through it right now as we speak. Adrenal gland insufficiency, secondary from too high of a dose of prednisone. Never gone through anything this crazy in my life. True story. I'm being real with you guys and being very transparent and peeling away the layers so we can learn together. I'm the guinea pig, baby. Strap in and fasten your seatbelt because I'm taking you down my journey because that's what we do over here, DeanBodi Podcast. Real life stories. My Bodie and I, we share them. with you, and we keep moving down the road on a daily basis. All right, because we're coming at you daily, DeanBodi, not weekly and monthly, because life comes at you daily. Whether you want to see a little buy daily, a try daily, or once in a while daily, you can listen to it multiple times a day. Rewind and play it again. We want you to get a nice dose. Go to the YouTube channel, watch the videos, so you can see the fun we're having over here and doing our thing. We love you here, DeanBodi. Don't forget to click the like, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of these shows. Why? Because these are real shows. Hey, leave a nice 5-star rating and review on the podcast if you don't mind. We'd greatly appreciate it. Give that algorithm a good sock on the you-know-where. Share it with a friend. Bring some joy to your friend. We goof around over here. We take you down funny lane, crazy road, and we have a little picnic over there in Waco Park, and we hang out together. That's how we do it over here, DeanBodi. She's the good girl, Bodie. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah, the good girl, Bodie. Yeah, the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com, 800-878-9698, Bodie Hotline, Fun Line, call the Bodie line. She's waiting for you. Say something nice to Bodie. We'll make it a feature on the show. All right. So, let me tell you something. Back to the guinea pig story, because this is important. And this is not cookie cutter. This is not a one-size-fits-all, because everybody functioning a little bit differently. Have you been on a bunch of medications through your life and you got other health issues, whatever it might be? Maybe you've had a surgery, open heart surgery, valve replacement. Maybe you've had your thyroid removed. Maybe you've had this. Maybe you've had that. Maybe you've had a stroke. Maybe you've had a heart attack. There's all kinds of a mixed bag. Maybe you have trouble with serious cases of asthma. You had respiratory illnesses and things like this. Hey, people have cancers and all that stuff. You know, listen. I was listening to a Rush Limbaugh's podcast the other day, and he's going through his own cancer thing. Listen, prayers going out to Rush. We love you over here from DeanBodi. Speedy recovery. Be strong. We need you. Dan Bongino saw a lump in his throat area. I kind of got to go through a similar thing, and now all of a sudden he's on chemo, and he's going through his thing. He's a freaking warrior. He's strong as an ox, and we're going to go through our thing with our little lipoma here that we got to get checked out once we get through the other. The journey continues. No fear. All right. So what I'm saying is it's not a cookie cutter when you're going through the keto and saying all these things that don't sound so cocky, whether you're a carnivore guy or whether you're an MD and whether you think you know whatever, and you're saying, oh, while you're bathing your body in the crystals and ketones, your gout might get worse temporarily until your kidneys can start flushing that stuff out. So if you have a flare-up, keep your medications around so you can walk. I get it because I'm going through it. If you haven't gone through it yourself, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about it so much. Just because you have some patients that are going through it, they're not always going to be honest with you. I know. I deal with it on both sides of the fence. I'm speaking from personal life stories. So while I'm going through this medication thing right now, until my kidneys start working better, it's kind of a catch-22, because the more medicine, the more stress on the kidneys. Not necessarily a good idea. So the idea is to stay strict, be on point, so your body can get into balance faster, so you can get out of the crisis care and start weaning down off the meds and start crossing them off the list. Oh yeah, less meds, less stress on the kidney. Less stress on the kidney, better functioning kidneys. Better functioning kidneys, we flush out uric acid and we wash away the crystals way better. Yeah, you got to stay hydrated. You got to drink plenty of water. You got to stay away from the F is for fructose, and you got to stay away from things like bad starchy carbs and all those crazy carbs, so you don't crank up your insulin levels. Keeping the insulin levels down, staying with a low glycemic meal plan, along with the fats way up, very moderate with the protein, okay? Now, let me tell you something, and the carbs way down. So you're looking at about 80% fat, let's say, 15% protein, 5% carb, or somewhere close to that. You don't have to be whatever. Come on, who's getting out these kinds of crazy measurements and being so whatever? Some people measure too much. Come on. You don't know what 4 ounces pieces of chicken looks like or whatever. Take the size of the palm of your hand. That's the size of the protein. The thickness is the thickness. You got 5 fingers. It represents, well, it used to represent 5 meals a day, but now we're shaving it down to just a couple meals a day. And we're plugging in intermittent fasting. All your body's got to go through these adjustments to get it functioning better. Everybody's got their own thing, mixed bag of how well your body's functioning, but you got to be full on, okay? And give it the best shake that you can until you'll find your way. That's the best way to do it. So my point is, I used to have these rules when I was eating more meals a day with that bodybuilding mindset. Don't go past 3 hours without eating, up to 1 hour before bed, so you sustain through the night, keep your hormones, body chemistry, and insulin levels stable throughout the day. You don't want those big gaps between meals with the big highs and lows. But the keto style is a whole different kind of mindset. I'm loving it, not to mention the bulletproof coffee, and you're going against the grains with, the proteins, the things that are high in purines, and not buying into that too much. But let me say, as a gout sufferer himself, look, I'm looking right in the camera right now. I know what I'm talking about because I'm living it, personal life stories. I'm not just getting it secondhand from somebody else's information. So don't go crazy with the high purine foods. Yeah, I know, your body makes its own, and people that are eating carnivore diets, how come they're not having flare-ups? I don't know, who are you talking about? One person to the next maybe have better functioning kidneys. Maybe they don't have that genetic factor, and it's in their family, and that propensity to have an issue. Doesn't mean you can't fix it, because you can't get caught up in the genetic thing too much, because everything can be reversed, but you might have to be more strict than the person that doesn't have that maybe genetic challenge, so to speak. Hey, we all have different challenges. You can turn it around, but one person might have to be more strict than the other. You'll figure it out, and then your own personal story will get the next person dialed in. Hey, I'm going through it now. What a process. So I'm full in, I'm checking my ketones, I'm watching what's going on, because to become keto adapted, to become fat adapted, one person's like, could take 4 weeks. The next person's like, could be 5 to 10 weeks. Next one is like, how do you know if you're keto adapted or fat adapted? You'll notice that you'll be a little less cranky. You'll notice that you'll feel a little more satisfied, and you can skip a couple of meals, and you won't miss eating because your body is going to be using the fat as fuel, and you're not going to feel as hungry or as hangry, as they say, or cranky. Oh, believe me, I know it's cranky. That's the top of the list. When that irritability goes away, I know that I'm going to be more dialed in when become fat adapted. Maybe it's going to take 2 months to 3 months to get really fat adapted. It depends on who you are, because, again, everybody's different. Hey, Millie!
Yeah! You hear what he said when it comes to the keto diet? Everybody's different. You can't be so cookie-cutter attitude. You gotta see for yourself, and it might be different than somebody else. And, you just gotta watch it and keep an eye on yourself and have your own personal story. Oh, yeah, I agree. So DeanBodi's really telling it like it is. Way to go, DeanBodi. Keep going.
So look, calm down with the whole attitude and everything's rubbish from the past and the mindset. If you live with the gout, then you'll really know. Otherwise, you're just yippity-yappiting and thinking that you know everything. So, the body makes its own. It doesn't mean you want to go crazy and eat bacon all day long and soak everything in bacon grease because you think it's no big deal and all that stuff. So look at the glass as being kind of to the tippy top when it comes to the uric acid. Now, your body already makes its own, and your body's dealing with that already and uses that every time it breaks down ATP or AMP or ADP for energy, uses the purines. Your body breaks it off, and the liver starts to use the fats and makes something called ketones, and that gets into the blood. So you measure the ketones, and that's how you know what's going on. right? Or you do the breath test with the acetone levels, and you can check it that way. I happen to be checking both. And I've noticed that they both agree with one another when it comes to the level of ketosis that I'm in. Pretty cool. I'm glad I got both, because the one that you blow into is a lot easier. You don't have to prick your finger all the time. Excuse me, my computer is deciding to take a little bit of a small power nap, if you would, as it does. It goes through a little resting. Welcome back. So look, hey, how are we doing over there? All right. So anyways, the funny thing is, I'm going to give you a little magic blast. How cool is that? Oh, yeah. The bottom line is, all right, everybody's different is my point. I don't want to be rambling on too much and all that, but I think this is important because you got to get some people to set straight. I don't care if you're an MD or a specialist in whatever and you think whatever. Personal life stories is what's going on. And I'm going to give you the truth over here, DeanBodi. So let's say you decide you're going to eat all the meats and all this and everything is like, well, your body makes its own purine. If the glass is already full and your kidneys aren't functioning where they need to be to dump that extra uric acid and get those crystals flushed out of your body, I don't recommend going too crazy with the high purine foods. Back off a little bit. Don't do too many things in a row when it comes to red meat, any of the proteins for that matter, whether it's the fish and the seafood, whether it's the chicken and the turkey, etc. Yes, you're going to stay away from the fructose, and yes, you're going to stay away from the bad starchy carbs. That's major. That's the major thing right there. You're going to get the fruit up, and when it comes to the coffee, doesn't mean that because it's okay, and research shows that people that drink more coffee have less gout flare-ups. Depends on how well your kidneys are functioning. Doesn't it mean drink 10 cups a day or 4 pots a day? Some people can get away with a little bit more than others. So recommend backing off. Do things once a day. If you're going to do a red meat or whatever, make that your protein meal for the day. Maybe make the rest plant-based. If you're having major challenges with getting rid of the gout, then you can always add more once your body gets fat adapted, keto adapted, and you start making that transformation. Be patient with the process, because walking is important, because a painful gout attack, you'll be crying like a little baby, and then you can't walk your dog around the neighborhood, and it's no fun, trust me on that, when you're going through that kind of pain. So, easy does it. That's my recommendation there. And then don't do too many. I used to have these rules. Don't do too many days in a row of the one thing. I know for sure back in the day, and not too long ago, that sugar was always involved with the other problems, or too high purines that you're going to get dialed in with the combination, and used to have a gout attack. You could get away with some things, but when you're not doing too many days in a row of the high purine foods, doing more plant-based, you're going to be better dialed in. Okay? Once you get keto adapted and you're dialed in and you're not having, let's say you start weaning off of that gout medication and you get off of the long term after you've gone through your crisis care, body's functioning better. You get your lab work back, your kidney numbers and liver numbers are looking good. Because, by the way, my kidney numbers and liver numbers always look good. They could be better, but they're in the normal range. I still have the gout attack. So maybe it's on kind of the higher side of maybe not, it's butting heads with, could be better. Like the GFR, your creatinine, the glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, the creatinine. You want to be, below 1 and the creatinine, ideally. And also the GFR, you want it to be greater than 60. The point is, some labs, depending on where you go, have different ranges. Interesting, huh? Look, the drug companies, if you were a drug company, wouldn't you like to lower the numbers? You'd sell more medications, wouldn't you? Wasn't that long ago where the normal blood sugar, fasting reading in the morning is before you eat, was around 120. Then they pushed the numbers lower to sell more meds. Same with the blood pressure. All these numbers keep changing. All you got to do is change it a little bit here and there, and we're selling more medication. The point is, there's a range in every lab value for a reason. As long as you're in that range, that's the main thing. Focus on that. And then once you're in that normal, you'll see where you're at. Start weaning off of that medication. Then maybe you can do a little more of the higher purine foods so you don't get that spillover. You're going to know if you do your experiment the right way and you really pay attention. Hey, I'm going to let you know. All right? I'm going to let you know DeanBodi style. All right. So look, let's see what's going on over here, DeanBodi. We don't want to shortchange anybody, DeanBodi Show. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, are we learning today? We're giving you the truth today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-bee-da-ba-da-ba-da. So one size doesn't fit all. We covered that. Life is not a cookie cutter. We covered that also. The crackling fireplace, the computer wasn't charging, and the eye shade, oh my gosh. The crackling fireplace on the ambient music with the Calm app is not really the most relaxing sound, Mr. Fireplace ambient noise guy. It reminds me of crumpling paper. When I was a kid, way back in the day, living in Miami, Florida, we had these things called palmetto bugs. I brought this up on a previous episode, and when those palmetto bugs, which are giant cockroaches, they can practically lift up your bed and carry you away, would get into the garbage can where I had crumpled up paper, from doing homework or coloring or whatever, and it'd get in there and it'd make that crackling noise. It sounded like a crackling fireplace. And it would scare the daylights out of me. So fireplace is not a relaxing thing. The one I have behind me on the YouTube channel doing it, I hit silent mode. You can see the fire. I like to play the music in the background when we're chilling around here, but it's not a relaxing noise to me. Probably because it's flipping that switch and that trigger. But man, let me tell you something. So I thought that was kind of funny. And that's kind of like that ambient noise that they think is not relaxing. Hey, a nice river flow, depending on which one it is, some things like that. Not all piano music is relaxing too, especially when you're hitting just the high notes alone. Bing, bong, bing, bong, bing. Not meditative. Nice and easy. Put some of the lower tones in there. Do a little harp. Do that Indian pan flute. That thing is usually on point. So, listen, how long can you hold the poopy in before the levy breaks? You ever play that game when you're trying to hold the poopy and you're walking around and maybe you want to clean the kitchen or straighten up before you jump in the shower and you know you got to go, but you want to get the kitchen all cleaned up and everything all dialed in first, so you play this game. Can I do all this stuff? Can I do all this cleaning, hold in the poop, and then go ahead, go to the bathroom, and then I can jump into the shower and do my thing? I don't know. I play that game from time to time. Sometimes you're pushing it a little bit too far, and you don't want to have an accident, obviously. Oh, yeah! What's the one more thing I wanted to talk about, DeanBodi? I'm having a great time doing this on DeanBodi Show today, talking about some great stuff. I wanted to get that gout stuff cleared up with the real life stories, not sound cocky, like you know everything and everybody's the same and all that. Everybody's a mixed bag, but you can reverse just about anything. Put your body in the right environment, but you got to pay attention to your own special circumstance, and not everybody is dealing with the same deck of cards, whether it's a genetic propensity or you're on too many medications for too many years or you had a major surgery. It's all over the place. So you can't just say cookie cutter kind of comments. That's why we're shutting it down over here, DeanBodi. Next thing, oh wow. So I noticed that when I started this keto thing, I've lost almost basically about 30 pounds. Very close. Yeah, I would say we're right at about 30 pounds. And the body's still got a lot of body fat on it that I can work on for energy. But I had this eye shade, if you ever use those eye shades, to keep the light out when you're taking a power nap or a snooze or whatever. I like it from time to time, but I don't always use it. But I got this shade. I noticed that it was all because I hadn't used it in a while, that it was way bigger this time because my head shrunk. Because all the fat in my head started getting out of there. And not only do you lose weight in all parts of your body, but your head is also a fat reduction machine as well. I noticed, wow, why is it so loose all of a sudden? So I had to tighten it up a little bit. Hey, man, your hat size changes also. So listen, you lose the fat everywhere, baby. And we're having a great time on our new lifestyle. We're going to figure this out, and we're going to keep sharing our real life story. So we hope we can help somebody else. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Good girl, Bodhi. Good girl. Good girl, Bodhi. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com, 800-878-9698. Call the Bodhi line. Call the fun line. Bodhi line. We're waiting for you. Hope you're having a nice holiday season. We're praying for you guys out there that you have a great new year that's coming up. And man, 2021's got to be a better year than 2020. I know it's going to be. And we're going to keep things positive rolling forward. And we appreciate you over here, DeanBodi Show, and, you know, all of our fans out there. The numbers are going up every day. The energy is coming back. The energy was gone for a little while when I was going through the health problem, but we're getting better by the day. Every day we get a little bit stronger. Every day we get a little bit better. And we're going to keep on moving forward. DeanBodi.com. Man, oh man, the links are on there. Go to the YouTube channel. Go to the podcast. Make it an awesome day. Coming at you daily, DeanBodi, because life comes at you daily, not weekly and monthly, or bi-daily, tri-daily. Play it multiple times a day. Digest DeanBodi any way you want to. Let's make it an awesome day today. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you keep having great days. We're here for you. DeanBodi's got your back. DeanBodi.com. Oh, yeah.